Yo, what's up, you guys? It's Jose from Patrick and Friends Music Company. I am your bass instructor. Like always, if you've seen previous lessons, welcome back. And if you're new to this, hello, I'm Jose. Nice to meet you. We have been talking about the upright bass. If you need a recap, I kind of give a recap at the beginning of most lessons. So check one of those lessons out and really just go back to the beginning and you could just follow along through the lessons. To continue from the previous lesson regarding the circle of fifths and learning your major scales on the bass using the circle of fifths. It's cool because you kind of knock two birds out with one stone. You're learning your circle of fifths and your scales. Really cool. So we started on C, which is the beginning of the circle of fifths. And then you go up a fifth, and that's G. Another fifth is D. Another fifth is A. Another fifth is E. And then that was the last scale that we kind of really talked about, the E major scale. And if you jumped ahead and kind of went at your own pace and decided to go further along the circle of fifths, then you know what's coming. The next one from after E major is B major, which is a fifth up from E. You got E, and then here's B. So, the fingering for B major. B major is going to be one of those notes, or it's one of those scales that you really don't have the opportunity to use open strings. Because the next sharp that we add is going to be your B flat. So in E, we added D sharp, which was this. And now in B, we're adding B flat or A sharp, and we'll break into the theory about that a little bit more. And actually, a little plug-in. If you go further along, if you go further into Patrick and Friends Music Company, there are plenty of other videos that really go into depth of theory things if you really want to get that down. I don't want to touch about it too much because there are videos about that that you can definitely go on. But for now, we're just going to really talk about the upright bass and those scales within that. Further theory, again, there are other videos within the Patreon account at Patrick and Friends Music Company and within this same YouTube channel. So, B major. The proper fingering for this is I usually start with my index finger on B. For this reason, you have a whole step from B to C sharp. So that is your whole step. So it's just easier to just extend that with your pinky. It is in that one position. It makes it simple, and it's going to be more in tune rather than have to do something like this and then have to shift down or even start with, you know, some 4, 4. You just don't have to shift. You start on B. You use your pinky. C sharp is right there. The next note after that is D sharp. For that, you're gonna shift back up to the half position of the bass. From that C sharp, you're gonna shift back up or back down to the half position, and you're gonna hit D sharp. All right. Now, after that, you go up a half step with your middle finger. You have E. Then here is where you kind of have to shift a little bit, just for the sake of playing that note well. Now, I usually shift up with the pinky in this case, just because if I know my pinky is going to be at F, I know another half step is going to give me the F sharp, which is a 5 of B. So for this, I normally shift from, you got D sharp, E. From here, I use pinky to shift F sharp. So let's go back. That is how that looks. Now, you could also do something like this where you don't shift really much. You use your index finger to shift. That shift would be from D sharp to E, which would look like this. Now, if you do that position or that certain fingering, you would have to shift back up to the A sharp on the G string on half position with your index, and then shift down with your middle finger to A sharp, and then the B, which is your half step. So you no matter how you finger it, you still have to shift a little bit. again. So that would be, if with this certain fingering, you would do index, pinky for C sharp, and then index at D sharp, index for E, pinky for F sharp, index for G sharp, middle finger for the B or for the A sharp, and pinky for the B. Now, the way I usually do it is this way. Index, pinky, index, middle finger, shift with the pinky to F sharp. Then I'm gonna go index, and then I'm gonna go pinky here, and then it's just a half step again. Boom. That is your B major scale. So if you're tuning into some of the Patreon lessons, the one in particular where I talk about the electric bass, and I talk about the fingerings for the electric bass within scales, regarding scales, you notice that this scale has very similar fingerings to the electric bass. That is one way to help you really expand the fingerboard on the upright as well. Just kind of knowing where it normally lands on the electric bass, and you can figure it out on the upright. Just keep in mind that the spacings are a lot bigger. That was B major. Now, in the link below, just click on that, and there's going to be an explanation or really a visual breakdown of the rest of the scales pertaining to this instrument, or really all your scales. It's all the same stuff. But it'll be a breakdown of all the scales, all 12 scales, and their positioning within the fingerboard, just so you can see and you can study and further kind of take these scales on your own. The furthermore you study them and kind of practice them, you start realizing that some of these patterns are pretty much all the same. They kind of carry throughout all these scales. That link is gonna kind of put a visual representation of the scale within its notes, and then you can start seeing them and start kind of practicing, like, you know, this is F, this is G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. But it'll be on paper and you can go through all 12 scales. Before I leave you, again, I know that we've been working a lot on, or talking a lot about the technical stuff behind the upright bass, but this is very important information to really have down and to really understand, to help your career, to help your hobby, if this is a hobby to you, whatever you kind of want to take it as. They're important and it'll help you greatly. So thank you so much for tuning in. In future lessons, we will start talking about bass in jazz, meaning swing, meaning you know, just reading some changes, and start talking about walking bass lines and what it is to walk a bass line, and be part of that ensemble. So thank you so much for tuning in. I leave you with that. Practice with the metronome, practice with a drone, practice in tune. Take it easy, take it slow, be patient. It can be frustrating, but enjoy the process, trust the process, and enjoy the journey. So until next time, y'all be safe.